Welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living. I'm Scott. I'll be your host for the next couple minutes. I'm glad to be back. I have been very busy. I've been in meetings for the last 2 weeks. It looks like they want to nominate me to run for the Democratic side of the presidency. Actually, I really missed being here. For the last couple of weeks, I was working for the police academy, where I was what they call a role player to help cadets learn how to face serious situations, and I was handcuffed 73 times. I was on the ground with somebody's got knee in my back, I think it was 14 times. I was shot 11 times. I was tasered 1 time, not really, and I got this beautiful tan because it all took place out in the Ferndale Fairgrounds. And then I was in a play that ended and directed a play that ended. So I figured I needed some time to actually do all of those things, but I have missed everybody. So let's get everything going here. We always start out our service by honoring the land on which we are located. So the Eureka Center for Spiritual Living acknowledges that the land on which we gather is the ancestral territory of the Wiyot peoples. This territory extends to the communities throughout most of Humboldt County, and we honor the Wiyot peoples today. All right, and we did that, so let's move forward. We always have a welcoming affirmation, and the way this works is we all together in unison. That was redundant. That was from the... Yeah, that was from, as Firesign Theater, a humor group back in the 70s used to say, that was from the Department of Redundancy Department. Okay, so we will read the top in unison, and then on the bottom half, just turn to somebody and say, I am so glad you are here. That's all you got to do, is turn to somebody and say, I am so glad you are here. So together, we all say, we are a welcoming community where the vibration of love lifts us, the wisdom of the ages inspires us, the science of mind teaching empowers us, and I am so glad that you are here. Our list of announcements, as you can see, starting tomorrow with A Course in Miracles, always ably led by Burl. Where is Burl? Oh, there you are, hiding. Yeah, okay. And you can see all of the other classes that are going on, the other events that are taking place, and we'll talk about some of those in more detail. The Crafternoon on the list this Friday from 1 to 4, get together and be crafty. It's just that simple. There's no agenda to it. There's no bias to it. What was that? Witchcraft would work. Whatever craft you want to be, it's just a whole lot of craft. So come on Friday and take part in that. The highway cleanup will be Saturday, July 13th. That is always led by Max. Did you wish to say something, or does this? Okay, so the slide says it all. If you would like to help Max, how long have we been doing the highway cleanup? It's
3 weeks.
23 years? Who said 3 weeks? 23 years. So if you'd like to help Max and the crew, there's Max's text number up there. Better Together. If you would like to be part of our social group, and I believe several people came to 2 Yards of Satan. Thank you for showing up at that. That was fun. I couldn't be there that particular night, but I was told the audience was the best we had that night, so thank you. If you would like to be part of our social group, please contact Rose. That's her phone number, that's her email address, and every month or so there are fun events that the Better Together group do, and they do it better together. Mural design. Be part of creating our mural. Did you wish to say anything else, or do you want to? Why don't I pick this up?
Pick it up.
Okay. This is our mural.
Yeah.
We've decided to simplify it. Now, I'm going to have to improvise on this, huh? Okay, so this is our mural. This is going to be what the wall on the outside of by the parking lot is going to look like, if you are not aware of that. This will take place the last week of this month or the first week of next month, actually probably a combination of the two. A few weeks into August. It's part of the last mural festival that the city of Eureka is doing, and we got to be part of it. And what we need are people to help pay for it. It's a local artist, and all you do is you pick 4 square, well, I picked 4. You can pick as many as you want. And you just put your name on it, and then you put down here that you have chosen so many squares, and then you bring $22 per square. And that money will help pay for the artist who, like I said, is a local artist. And I think that's it. I can't speak to the symbolism. And we won't be writing your names on the wall. It's not going to be like a graffiti thing. But that's just so we can see that all the spaces are filled, and it's what, 164? 164 squares. Did I get it all? Okay. So if you'd like to sign up, this would be in the other room. We have a lot of people signing up. We would love to have more.
Put it on here on the table, and they can sign it there too.
Except the pen.
No, the pen went away. There we go. Thank you.
The string came off, so I put it back on, but now the pen came out.
Okay, our bookstore. Let's see here, waiting for the bookstore. There we go. July sale. Great summer reading. All new books except Reverend Angelica's.
That doesn't mean mine isn't a great book, though.
For the Zoomers, and I forgot to say hi to the Zoomers, Angelica said that doesn't mean that her book is not great. We actually, we've been kind of cleaning our house because we have a house guest, and every time you get a house guest, of course, you want the house to look better than you really live in. So we went through and got Angelica's book and put it into my office as opposed to hidden in the other part of the house. And it's a wonderful book, so pick it up even if you don't save 20%. Our little pantry needs to be fed. Everything except ramen, please. It goes quickly. The local community relies on our pantry. Non-perishable foods are always welcome. And I think before we get to the theme of the month, Doug, you have an announcement? I think it's there.
Yeah, it is too.
Oh, glasses.
And there's the other part of it.
Right, yeah, I guess I'm aware of that. Well, as everybody knows, once a quarter now we honor the volunteers in this community. And so today's the day for the last quarter. And I don't know if Ari can hear me back there with his headphones on. Ari, it's you, so can you maybe come up here for a moment? Pardon me?
I've been trying my best to avoid it.
I know, yeah. He was trying to avoid it, but so, we went on Ari, as I think a lot of people know.
Yeah, but Marvin really deserves as much credit as me.
He's got one
I-
already.
Oh, okay.
Right. Marvin deserves as much credit, and he got some
He
credit.
deserves more credit than me.
He was
Since the
recognized
originator.
as a volunteer of the quarter.
Of the-
But this time, it's Ari's turn, and so.
Oh, thank you very much.
So I think everybody knows that Ari spends a lot of time with Marvin, working on our presentation, our Zoom presentation. And he does it gracefully, and everybody loves Marvin, or Ari. Yeah, he helped at the Twice Night sale also. But Ari does a lot, and I could go down and read everybody's paragraph here if you'd want me to. Do you want me to do that?
Why don't
Make
you
me
raise
blush.
the microphone up?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
There we go. Let's see, I've seen, this is Angelica, I've seen Marvin and Ari work well together to create a system that works for us. He's taught me a few things on my laptop, and is a good patient teacher. He helps whenever he can, and we appreciate him. Michelle wrote, Ari's a conscientious and patient with helping Marvin to the sound. He strives to make the service and the service recordings good quality. Since he started working with Marvin, the online Zoom experience has just gotten better and better with the clarity of the music and the general sound. Ari helped at the end of the Twice Night sale, packaging up remaining books and loading up clothes and other remains into the moving van. He's a lovely asset to our spiritual community. Ari has a thoughtful and patient mind of an engineer and freely gives of his talents, working with Marvin to better the video and audio presentations of our event. I remember how Susan talked about Ari seeing all the radio and video equipment with the myriad of cords and components and thinking that's just right down his alley. Ari's done so much to bring the use of electronics up to date. In addition to this, he's an eager, kind, and thoughtful person and a great addition to our community.
Thank you, Ari. Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody.
She wants to take a picture.
Do I have to do the...
I forgot. I wasn't.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you want the frame thing?
frame group.
I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah.
I'm never very good at these public presentation things. Let's see, maybe. All right.
Oh, you're sneaky. That's why I wanted to take this picture.
You have to watch when you're taking pictures.
If you haven't checked out our YouTube channel lately, Ari and Marvin, but Ari does a phenomenal job on it. We have the meditation now that goes up every week, the pre-service meditation, and this service goes up every week. And it's not, I remember when we were first talking about getting all of this videoed, it was like somebody would just basically stand there and hold a camera and you couldn't hear anything and it was shaky. And now it's like we have our own video production team back there. And it's really wonderful. So tell other people also, check us out. YouTube channel is youtube.com/Eureka Center for Spiritual Living. And you'll see the amazing work that they do. Okay, let's move into the next part of our service. Our theme for the month is freedom. And when tasked with the graphic, I didn't want to go the traditional signs of freedom. I wanted something that was more natural. And this is what came out. And I think it just hopefully presents to everybody a sense of freedom and expansion and feeling alive. And that's what our theme is for July. So with that in mind, it's time for our moment of peace. And I guess since I'm gone a couple of weeks, I do everything now. That's what I get. So we're going to have our moment of peace. And for the people who have not been here before, or even if you have, I'm going to read something that I found. And then we'll have about a minute to just think about it, meditate on it. Jackson will bring us out with some music, and then at the end of that, I will lead what's called a treatment or an affirmative prayer, reinforcing what we just thought about and what I spoke of. So I got this from The Art of Uncertainty by Dennis Merritt Jones. And when he starts out, he says, I offer a quote by Deepak Chopra. That's him saying that. That's not me saying that. So I'm starting with what he wrote. And I did some minor editing to just shorten it down. So, I offer a quote by Deepak Chopra, who in his usual display of elegant words and profound wisdom makes this point very clear. I have projected the same images day after day, becoming prisoner to the known, but the known is dead and past now, and I must buy my ticket to freedom. No longer quoting Deepak Chopra. By embracing the fresh and unknown, we can continue to live in the restrictions of life we have always known because it is safe and predictable. However, in so doing, we become prisoners of the invisible jail of our own mind. Chopra is spot on. If we truly desire to experience the freedom to be truly expressed beings that we were sent here to be, we have no choice but to embrace the unknown. That is the mystery of that which is yet to be. We all have some addiction to wanting to control the future, don't we? There is much comfort to be found in the confines of a box when we know where the edges are. But there is certainly no growth, no evolution, and no deepening of our spiritual nature within that box. There can also be no doubt that this attachment to the known is what keeps many of us from creating the life we truly desire. It's flat out frightening to step into the unknown, yet that is where all new creation takes place. And today, more than ever, we know that much of what has worked in the past will not work anymore. No one knows what the future holds, nor should we. That would only dull the edge of our own evolution and diminish the desire to stay engaged in pursuing meaning and purpose, which is what makes life worth living. Our consciousness is the filter through which the unlimited potential of the universe flows. It determines the size of the box we live in. If we want to create a larger life, we must expand the size of the box. That is, come to the edge and lean over. Ultimately, what we create in the future bears the imprint of what is embedded in our consciousness as possible today. It is nothing more than the law of cause and effect at work. If we desire to create a new experience, we must introduce a new cause, and new causes will never be found in past experiences.
Softly and tenderly, Spirit is calling, calling for you and for me. See on the portal, the new day is dawning, dawning for you and for me.
Speaking in the first person, here is what I know. I know that there are no limits. And I know that there are no limits because there is no limit to who I am. I am part of an infinite source that expands and flows through all of the universe and beyond. And because there are no limits, I know that I am capable of being free. And my definition of freedom is to live a life that has no fear. I also am aware of the fact that when I move forward, it is out of faith, and when I hold myself back, it is because of fear. Knowing that I am part of this infinite universe, knowing that I have all of the power that I need that resides within me and I can use it as I wish, by simply changing my thoughts and my feelings, I adjust my thoughts and feelings to embrace the freedom, to embrace the beauty, to embrace the expansiveness of life that really is what it is. And as I embrace it, I feel it flow through me, I act accordingly, and I send that freedom out not only to myself, but to everybody around me, and it becomes a celebration of joy and a lack of fear, an explosion of faith. And for that knowledge and the results that come for that, I am extremely grateful, and I release these words into the law of mind, knowing that they have already been happening, and all I have to do is open up and embrace them, and together we all say, and so it is.
Come home, come home. You are seeking, come home. Lovingly, tenderly, Spirit is calling, calling, beloved, come
Thank you, Jackson. And now we welcome to the platform our spiritual leader, the future birthday girl, Angelica, Reverend Angelica.
Good moment of peace. Scott and Jackson, thank you. I was mentioning in the practitioner room this morning that I read on Facebook that today is Ringo Starr's birthday, and that many, 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 many years ago, he started this thing where every year on his birthday, he goes out in the public and he gets everybody to say, peace and love, peace and love, peace and love. And that's what we believe, peace and love. So, I have a couple things I wanted to say before I start my talk this morning. One is, Marvin got Volunteer of the Year, so he's sort of covered already, just in case you didn't know. And what was the second one? Oh well, if I remember it, I'll let you know. So my talk this morning is about foundations of freedom, and I had quite an interesting week this week exploring the metaphysics of our founding documents. I thought that would be a good thing to do because it was the 4th of July. And so I want us to think about this, that here's a memory that I have. When I went to speak at the Philadelphia church one time when I was living in Baltimore, and being in Philadelphia, I had to go visit all the, things that were the Liberty Bell and, everything. And we went into this building where there was the room that the gentleman had debated on whether to do the Declaration of Independence and what to put in it, etc. And I started thinking about all of the things that came about because of these men that were standing in this room. And I have a vague memory of seeing a painting of, somebody sitting at a table and there's a bunch of men standing around them. And, they were farmers and doctors and, just regular kind of people putting together a document that took us out of the reign of the King of England. And then they took it even further as time went on. But each one of these documents has certain metaphysical principles in them that are like the foundation of our country. And so I'm going to start with the Declaration of Independence. Written in 1776, it declared that the 13 American colonies' freedom from Great Britain. When I read this, I've always heard those first lines that say we're endowed by our Creator for inalienable rights, blah, blah, blah. And so I thought this whole document was going to just be awesome. Well, that's like 2 paragraphs. The rest is, King so-and-so did this. He wouldn't allow us to do that. I mean, it's a whole litany of about 25 different complaints that we had. And I thought, well, isn't that interesting? But then it ended with going back into this idea, that this vision, in a way, the people that created this document were doing a vision process, to write it, etc. So it boldly declares that we are endowed by our Creator with inalienable rights to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. As individuals, we're not simply subjects of a government's discretion like you are when you're under a king, but you're bearers of rights that stem from something much greater than humanity. You were, well, as Thomas Jefferson said, the God who gave us life gave us liberty at the same time. So we're really thinking of this divine mind, so to speak. And even Ralph Waldo Trine said, we are all expressions of the divine mind and therefore inherently good, which is what the Declaration of Independence basically says, is that it has a concept of self-evident truths that go along with this idea that we're basically good people and we deserve to live good lives. So the ideas of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness are expressions of our divine birthright and our capacity to create our own realities. There's nothing that says that just because your dad was always a farmer, and his father was a farmer, and his father was a farmer, etc., that you have to be a farmer, for instance. You have the choice to do whatever it is that you wish to do. So then I went into the Constitution. It's written in 1787, and it established the framework for the government of this country. So here we find a meticulously crafted framework designed to uphold the principles that we just talked about, the pursuit of life, liberty, and freedom. So it establishes a system of governance built on the separation of powers, checks and balances, and the rule of law. These are not just practical mechanisms. They reflect a metaphysical belief in the importance of restraining power to protect individual freedoms and ensure justice for all. This is the Constitution of the United States of America that right now is in danger. That idea of us not being under one particular person, a king, who's able to make all the laws. And granted, kings have their committees, etc., that help them choose what's going to be happening in their country. But it's designed to have different bodies of power that all serve as checks and balances on the other to maintain our ability to live life with the rights to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. So the Constitution, again, is a system of checks and balances, and it creates a structure that allows individual potential to flourish. The separation of powers is a way to ensure that no single entity can stifle our creative power and the ability to express our good. And the concept of the social contract as a collaborative effort to create a society that supports the highest good for all. The Constitution is a social contract, not only with the various bodies of government, but with each one of us. Absolutely. And it is supporting the highest good for all. The next one is the Bill of Rights. It then was written in 1791, and it's actually the first 10 amendments to our Constitution. And it was added to guarantee those basic rights to citizens by explicitly stating that those rights are fundamental to the individual. The right to the freedom of speech, the right to the freedom of religion, the right to a fair trial, etc., etc. These are not mere legal statutes, but the reflections of our inherent rights as human beings. So it's interesting that this vision that started as the Declaration then became a larger social contract, so to speak, and then apparently between 1787 and 1791, they realized that, oh, we got to make this a little stronger, so they wrote the Bill of Rights. So what I know is that this Bill of Rights, in a way, allows us to express our divinity in the way that we choose. One of the things that's also happening in our country right now is there's something called national Christianity. And this is not Christianity as Jesus would have taught it, definitely. But it's if you read Project 2025, they want to make national Christianity the religion of the land. I'm telling you guys, read that document. Or at least go on YouTube and listen to some things about this document. And here Trump is saying in an interview just recently, I don't know anything about Project 2025, and then talks about what it says in it. That didn't make any sense. Anyway, so these freedoms are avenues for us to manifest our unique gifts and contribute to the collective good. So what I know is that these three documents are all about freedom. And freedom to me has become a really sacred word lately. It's something that we take for granted until just recently. And so what I know, here's some ideas that came about. I actually asked AI, ChatGPT, tell me about what these three documents do for us for freedom. And this is what they said. ChatGPT is really a neat tool, you guys. It's fun. Freedom is the power to create your own path and live your life authentically, embracing every opportunity and challenge with courage and confidence. In the light of freedom, we find the strength to pursue our dreams, the wisdom to learn from our mistakes, and the joy of living each moment to its fullest. True freedom is the ability to express itself without fear, to explore the world with an open heart, and to connect with others in a spirit of mutual respect and understanding. So true freedom is really a spiritual journey. We're all on a spiritual journey. You wouldn't be sitting in this room if you weren't on a spiritual journey. All the thousands of people that are sitting in churches this morning, of no matter what kind it is, they're on a spiritual journey. Everybody is, whether they know it or not. And so I was thinking then, in this time of our country and our lives, let's draw inspiration from these 3 foundational documents, and let's reflect on how we can embody these principles in our life in a greater way. How can we foster a community where love, compassion, and justice prevail? You know, yesterday or today is the Dalai Lama's 89th birthday. And what is he all about? His whole thing, as he said earlier, a few years ago, my religion is kindness. In every way that we can express more kindness, let's do so. If you find yourself triggered about something, figure out a way that you can turn it into kindness in some way. So our spiritual practice also extends far beyond our personal growth. It encompasses our role as stewards of freedom and advocates for a world where every individual can thrive. Whatever you're doing for yourself, you're doing for everyone. And I think that this is a wonderful thing. Dr. Holmes says, find me one person who is for something and against nothing, who is redeemed enough not to condemn others out of the burden of his soul, and I will find another Savior, another Jesus, an exalted human being. I'm ready to be another Jesus. I'm ready to start thinking of myself as an exalted human being. And you know what? It takes work. It takes work. You all know it takes work. I mean, I want to stay informed about what's happening in our world today. And there's times when I'm saying things that aren't appropriate, you know. But you know what? It's all along the path. We're all walking this path together. As someone once said a long time ago, we're all walking each other home. I think that was Ram Dass. And so I have this idea that what we need to do is think about these founding documents and the metaphysical interpretations for ourselves, and then remember that what we're doing is working for something. This is what we want to do, work for something instead of against something. And so one of the ministers put on the ministers list yesterday a couple paragraphs by a lady named Sarah Bessey, who it's called Imagine Something Better. Imagining and contending for what you hope in this world is one of the hardest and kindest paths I've discovered out here. In the midst of all this, don't forget to imagine something better. Don't forget to dream of what could be possible. And don't forget to live into those hopes with faithfulness. Move in that direction, especially when all you know is not this. If it helps, sometimes I've thought of this as the rhythm of turning away and then turning toward, almost like a beautiful dance. We turn away from those things we're against and toward the hopeful future we imagine. In a purposeful movement, we turn away from the practices or beliefs or habits that consume us, that threaten us, reduce us, and distract us. And then we turn toward what brings flourishing, goodness, and truth to us. Turn away, yes, and turn toward. What we turn toward should reorient us to the world in a posture of love, joy, and service. let's see our affirmation. Oh, I have it right here. Is it going to move? Come on. Give me my affirmation. Nope. Go back one. There we go. Susan Hess wrote the affirmations for this month, so let's say this one together. Knowing my spirit is always free, today I let my mind roam in infinite possibilities. As I am free to choose, I am also free to decide what is mine to experience and express. And so let's go into affirmative prayer. How grateful I am that I live in a country that has these incredible founding documents. How grateful I am that I recognize that each and every person that participated in them was an expression of the divine, just like we are. How grateful I am to know that it is up to me to look towards a greater America, to look towards a greater life, personally, to look toward a place where there is more kindness and compassion and love, peace and love. And so I celebrate us as we do this work. I know this work is not easy, and yet there is that within us that is more powerful than we could possibly ever imagine. And so we turn all of this over to that great power, that one life. That life is perfect, and that life is our life right now. We turn all of this stuff over to that life, and we decide, we make a decision to live in accordance with the highest good for all. We start with ourselves, and we feel it moving out, radiating out. What I know is that absolutely all of this is energy. All of it. Everything you can see, feel, touch, taste, imagine, it's all energy. And it is my job, your job, to make this energy the highest and best energy that we could possibly ever imagine. So we call it divine energy, and we call it forth into every single person in this country, into every single person in this planet, into everything. And we know the highest and best for all. So gratefully, I release these words into law, knowing that we are living in amazing times. And I'm grateful to be here. And so it is. And Edward is giving us our gift of music this morning, so let's welcome him up here. Thank you.
I get to be me now. And this is me. Me being me. The second line. I'm going to have to sit for this one because my instrument today is a very fickle thing. It's a wind synthesizer, and a lot of its controls are at both of my thumbs. And if I move my thumb in any direction, it could be disaster.
I like the lights on your speaker.
Oh, yeah, that's me too, psychedelic. Okay, let's see here. Trying to see if everything is working right, hopefully. Yeah, that is also me. Yeah, the song I chose today, because I was thinking, like when Reverend Angelica was giving her speech, someone I heard say, that when we were talking about everybody being inherently good, I heard someone say that, what about, all of the evil things that are happening and the people who are promoting them? And I started thinking to myself that we have freedom now, quote unquote freedom, and we have peace now, quote unquote peace. But sometimes the people that we think are evil are not the learners. Sometimes they're the teachers. Sometimes we have to learn. And how do you know faith well, you won't know the blessings of faith, I don't think, until it's stripped from you and you realize what you lose. Same thing with freedom. If we give the authority to someone to take it away, then we will understand what it is that we had. So we have to be very, very, very careful this year about what we do. But I know that there's a place in the world right now where there is peace. I know there's a place where there's faith. I know that there's a place where everything is simple. It's not all this political mumble jumble and mess. And that's why I chose this song. Plus, it's one that spoke to me most of my life. And if I can get it to play, you will recognize it.
Thank you, Edward. That was beautiful. Edward is celebrating our founding ancestors by dressing like they did. So
This is my best Rick St. Charles.
I didn't know you dressed like that, Rick. Okay, let's move on to the final part of our service. We are going to share our gifts. So we have a couple of people who will be passing a plate around, and whatever you can put into it, please do. Always, 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 whether there's cash, add love into it. So before as the plate starts to go around, let's say together, I gratefully give from the fullness of my abundance, knowing my gift blesses this center, all in it and beyond, and so it is. Okay, right after this?
After you do the word.
All right, put that in there too. I think you'll come forward. As we accept these gifts, knowing they are just one more form of energy, one more outpicturing of peace and love from the divine, and are being put into this plate to continue in the law of circulation and go out into the community and out into the state and out into the universe to create a better world for all. We are extremely grateful. We release these words into the law of mind, knowing they are already happening, and with joy and enthusiasm we say, and so it is. Angelica has now remembered what it was she wanted to talk about before, so is asked if she can come back.
This is basically for the practitioners, but I also want to let everybody know. Some of you might not have known that last weekend Lorna McLeod was in the hospital with a heart condition. And so we put it out to the practitioners, and she sent me, she was there for about 3 days, and then she sent me an email this morning saying, I'm still doing well, vitals normal, yay! So practitioners, thank you for your work.
And to clarify that, we are all practitioners, not just those of us who have gone through the training. If you are accepting this philosophy and utilizing it in your life, and you are, whether you realize it or not, you are a practitioner of this philosophy. Okay, a couple of things before we get to our community statement of inclusion and our closing peace song. Let me see if I can find that. This is the first Sunday of the month, and that means that it is Birthday Sunday. I believe there is a potluck or certainly some food in the other room. So if your birthday is this month and you're able to, we would like to have you stand, and we will all sing happy birthday to you off key and out of tune. So who do we have for birthdays? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear July birthdays. Happy birthday to And what you can't see, Zoomers, or maybe you can't, no, I don't think you can, is a bouquet is being presented to Angelica because this is Angelica's 29th birthday for about the 45th time. It'll be late. Angelica, you're what, July 13? July 19th, so that'll be coming up later this month, and we are delighted that you are with us. Other announcements we want to make. If you would like to speak with a practitioner, We are available for what is called the 5-minute miracle. Results not necessarily guaranteed in 5 minutes, but they will take place. You can meet with any one of the practitioners. Susan is here today. I am obviously here today. Let's see, Michelle is here today. Edward is here today. And I think that's our practitioner group. So please, Claudia, are you now a practitioner? Are you coming back with us? I had heard rumor.
I heard that rumor too, but I don't know.
Okay. So it looks like Claudia will be rejoining our ranks as a practitioner who had been one for like 20-some years, if I remember correctly. And so you can also talk with Claudia. Well, you can talk to anybody. Wherever you get the support, please get it. Finally, we would like to do some demonstrations before we get to our community statement of inclusion. If you have a demonstration, and a reminder, a demonstration is not just a, hey, I'm really glad I'm here, that's a wonderful demonstration, but where you pictured something, you believed in it, you manifested it and became real in this plane of existence, and it looks like we've got, goodness gracious, we got a lot. So we've got time, let's keep them short. We'll start with Louise, and then we'll go to Edward, and there was somebody's hand back there that I saw.
James over there.
And James, and Lyndon.
Oh, my.
and- What the heck, if you don't have a demonstration, raise your hand. We'll leave it at that.
All right, last week was the fifth Sunday, so I offered to help count the money. And so I'm taking all the money out and the checks and everything, and I'm putting the piles of ones and fives and so forth. And I thought, wow, there's lots of $1 bills in here, lots of $5 bills. Wow, I open an envelope, there's a $50 bill. Okay, open another, there's a $100 bill. Oh, great, okay, so I start counting, and as I'm counting, I'm thinking, wouldn't it be cool if we had about $200 in cash? 195, 196, 197, 198. I went, wow, so close. Somebody comes in and said, do you have change for a $100 bill? Well, no, we don't, but, well, we got $98. Okay, I'll take it. Give me a $100 bill, we had $200. Woo-hoo! That was less than 5 minutes.
That was fun. Edward, you're on deck.
Yeah, mine is gonna be even shorter than that.
Are you going to blindfold somebody?
On July 2nd at 5:30, I believe it was, in the morning, my daughter Raven made Amy and I a grandparent. So, little Onyx Vis was born at 6 pounds and 2 ounces, and unusually smooth skin and straight legs. Going to be very tall and hopefully a musician.
Lyndon, we'll get you, and James, you had something you wanted to add too, is that right? I'm going to first do Lyndon.
A phone here,
Oh.
somebody lose the phone.
Oh, is that?
Left it laying on the front seat here.
There we go. A demonstration for Anna that your phone has been found. Lyndon, you're up.
I'm gonna try something. The light of God surrounds me. The love of God enfolds me. The power of God protects me everywhere that I go. God is. And all is well. Thank you, God. Amen. And so it is. Oh. Roll with it. And then, now see it. Let's roll.
Okay, was there, I thought I saw one more. I didn't, oh, I did. Okay, Kathy.
Nice hat.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. I like the hat.
50 cents. I was kind of down about some political stuff earlier this week, and I was trying to bring my mood up, and I couldn't quite get it up. So I also was really hungry one late day, and I just thought, I don't like anything that I've got prepared in the refrigerator because I kind of work myself that way. And I got out my cookbooks, and I had this old Fanny Farmer one from just getting a used one at a used store. And I looked up, and I was going in the soup. I went, soup, soup, soup. And and I found cream of asparagus soup, and I went, what? And I had some asparagus, and it was raw, and I just got a piece of an onion, I chopped it up, I threw it in with a little bit of grass-fed butter, and I stirred in the asparagus pieces, not for long, and I had got this blender free at another used store. It's a whole story, but never mind. And I ground up all that stuff with a little bit, I had a little bit of cream that I kept thinking, use it before it goes bad, use it. And so I did that, I felt like, oh, good. And then I thought, oh, it's too thick. So I added some organic chicken broth from Costco. And I stirred it all up, and it was so good. I just went, oh my gosh, my searching and then finding something to put myself into in it. Then when I ate it, I just felt so good. I wasn't hungry anymore, and I was really hungry, where you think you have to eat this much. But it just settled me down, and I went, all my mood changed for days because the creativity of making something that I didn't even know about. I just never thought of having cream of asparagus soup. It was really good. Anyway, it's just a simple little thing that came to me that I wanted to share.
Kathy will be starting her weekly column, Cooking Tips for the Spiritually Enlightened. All right, with that in mind, we need somebody to read our community statement of inclusion. If you haven't done it before, this is a great opportunity for you. If you have done it before, it's a good opportunity too. And then Donna will lead us in the closing peace song. Do we have somebody who will read our community statement of inclusion? Please step forward. Right there for you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We, the Eureka Center for Spiritual Living, are a community that celebrates diversity, fosters inclusion, champions inner work, and creates space for brave, vulnerable conversations. We are a community that honors the unique emanation of God that each person embodies and advocates with people for human rights and dignity for all. We are a community that blesses each other, seeds sacredness in all life, remains learners and listeners, so that we may grow together and understands that oneness is not sameness. We know our beloved community is revealed more fully when we love each other well. Well done. Thanks. Thank you.
We planned that. Please stand and join me in singing the peace song. Thank you, Olivia. Uh-oh, I'm in trouble. I now have traveling instructions. Thank you. Yes, there is peace on earth, and yes, it begins with me. Yes, there is peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God as our power, God is all we. Yes, we walk with each other in perfect harmony. Yes, peace begins with me. Yes, this is the moment now. With every breath I take, yes, this is my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment with peace eternally. Yes, there is peace on earth, and yes, it begins with me. And before we break, 3 times repeat with me, peace and love. Peace and love.